Look at one pair of football boots. Just the boots. They are quiet now. But these boots have crossed an ocean. They have waited beside an empty bed in a strange city. They have stood on training fields before sunrise. And they have walked into some of the biggest stadiums in the world. Today, they will help you learn English. Hello and welcome. I am glad you are here. Take a slow breath. Sit back. We are going to listen to a real-life story told with simple images and slow English. You do not need perfect English. You only need to listen, follow the story, and learn one step at a time. Here is my promise to you. By the end of this video, you will know new words, useful phrases, and clear sentence patterns from the life of Cristiano Ronaldo. We will learn the way great players train, slowly, carefully, and again and again. So let us begin. Picture a small island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. The waves are loud. The streets are narrow. And on one of those streets, a thin boy is running with a football at his feet. He is poor. He is unknown. But he has a dream. This boy will one day become one of the most famous people on earth. The whole world will know his name. But fame is never free. Behind the goals, the trophies, and the bright lights, there is a price. There is sacrifice, giving up something you love to reach something greater. There is discipline, working hard again and again, even when no one is watching. And in the end, there is legacy. The mark your work leaves on the world over time. This is not only a story about football. This is a story about cost. So let us ask the question that this whole video will try to answer. What does it really cost to become great? To find the answer, we must go back to the beginning, to the boy, and to the dream. Story 1. The Boy and the Dream. Cristiano Ronaldo grew up on an island. The island is called Madeira, a small piece of land far out in the Atlantic Ocean belonging to Portugal. His family did not have much money. The house was small. Life was simple. But the boy had something money could not buy. He had a ball. And he had a dream. He came from a humble home, a place where every coin mattered. He grew up running on hard streets, playing football whenever he could. Football was not just a game to him. It became the center of his world. He dreamed of becoming a great player, of scoring goals, of hearing crowds call his name. But around the age of 15, doctors found a heart condition that could have stopped the dream before it truly began. Think about that. A boy who loved to run had a heart that sometimes beat too fast, even when he was resting. The body he needed for football had suddenly become the thing that frightened him most. He had a small operation, and slowly he was allowed to play again. The danger passed. The dream survived. Every great story starts small, on a quiet street, in a quiet town, inside one beating heart. But to chase that dream, the boy would have to do the hardest thing of all. He would have to leave home. Story 2. Leaving home and facing loneliness. When he was around 12, Ronaldo left Madeira to join Sporting CP's academy in Lisbon. It was a wonderful chance, but it came with a heavy cost. To say yes, he had to leave his family, his familiar streets, and the island that had shaped his childhood. Imagine a small suitcase. Imagine a boy leaving the island, looking back at the place he loved. Lisbon was far away, across the sea. He had to say goodbye to his mother, his brothers and sisters, the streets he knew, and the ocean he grew up beside. In the big city, he felt homesick. He was a small boy from a small island, and now he was alone. Some accounts say people laughed at the way he spoke, at his island accent. He felt lonely, far from everything warm and familiar. Notice the pattern in his life. He had to leave home. He had to stay strong. He had to grow up quickly. So young and already carrying so much. This was his first real sacrifice. He gave up the comfort of childhood. He was far from family, learning to live without the people he loved most. But here is the quiet truth of this story. In that loneliness, something began to grow. When you are alone, you learn to depend on yourself. You learn to work without applause. Big dreams ask for big goodbyes, and he had said one of the hardest goodbyes of all. He was alone and far from home. But loneliness taught him something powerful: to work when no one was watching. Story 3. Discipline and Transformation. In 2003, when Ronaldo was 18, Sporting CP played a friendly match against Manchester United. That night, the young player surprised the English team with his speed, confidence, and skill. The story is often told that his performance impressed Manchester United so much that they moved quickly to sign him. Soon after, he moved to Manchester United in England. A new country, a new language, a new level. The door had opened. But opening a door is not the same as staying inside the room. In the beginning, many people in England criticized him. They said he was too fancy, that he held the ball too long, that he was all show. He was talented, but talent was not enough. People criticized him, but he kept working. He was gifted, but he had to prove it. Then, in 2005, life gave him one of its heaviest blows. His father passed away. We will speak of this gently. Grief is the deep sadness we feel when we lose someone we love. Ronaldo was young, far from home, carrying both pain and pressure at the same time. Many people would have broken. Instead, he chose to transform. He decided to work harder than others. He spent extra hours in the gym, alone, long after teammates had gone home. He built his body with discipline and turned his sadness into fuel. This is the heart of his whole story. He learned to turn pain into power. He chose discipline, doing the hard work every single day with no excuses. He chose to become more than talent. Slowly, the criticism faded. The doubters went quiet. He had come back stronger. Remember this line because it is the soul of his life. Talent can open the door, but discipline keeps you inside. He had become more than talent. Now the question was bigger. Could he carry not only himself, but a whole nation? Story 4. Carrying Portugal, carrying greatness. To play for your country is a great honor, but it is also a great weight. Over time, Ronaldo became the captain of Portugal, the leader of the team, and the hopes of millions sat upon his shoulders. Back in 2004, when he was very young, Portugal reached the final of the European Championship. They were hosting the tournament at home. The whole country dreamed of victory. But Portugal lost. They came close to their goal, but did not reach it. Picture the young man on the field, crying. Tears ran down his face in front of his nation. He was heartbroken. The trophy was so close, and yet it slipped away. Now move forward 12 years to 2016. Portugal reached another European final, and it felt like destiny. But early in that final, disaster struck. Ronaldo suffered a knee injury. He could not continue. He had to leave the field, again in tears, watching from the sideline. Here is the beautiful pattern. In 2004, he cried because his team lost. In 2016, he cried because his body failed him in the biggest moment. Twice, tears. But this time, the story would end differently. Although he could not play, he still led. Although he was injured, he stayed with the team. He stood near the sideline, shouting, encouraging, leading from outside the pitch. And his teammates fought on. This was a team victory, not the work of one man. A substitute named Eder scored the winning goal, and Portugal finally lifted the trophy, the first major trophy in their history. Ronaldo could not run, but he refused to disappear. Although his body stopped, his belief stayed alive. Remember this: real leaders carry others, even when they cannot run. He had finally won what his country had waited for. But time, the one opponent no one beats, was waiting. Story 5. Pressure, Aging, Reinvention, and Legacy. After his years in England, Ronaldo moved to Spain, to one of the biggest clubs in the world, Real Madrid. It was a record-breaking transfer. The whole football world was watching, and with that came something enormous: pressure. Pressure is the heavy feeling when everyone expects greatness from you every single day. At Madrid, every match, every season, he had to be the best. Anything less felt like failure. And he answered. At Real Madrid, he became one of the most consistent goal scorers football had ever seen. In the Champions League, the biggest club competition in Europe, he built records that still define his legacy. He scored more goals in that competition than any player in history. Year after year, he won. Year after year, he scored. Year after year, he made the impossible look normal. But time moves for everyone, even for the greatest. As the years passed, his body grew older. To stay at the top, he had to reinvent himself, to change his style and become useful in a new way. He became a smarter player, a deadly finisher, a man who always seemed to find new ways to score. He moved to Italy, to Juventus. Later, he returned to Manchester United, his old home in England, and then he made a move to Saudi Arabia, to a club called Al Nassr, a move that divided opinion. Some people admired it, some people questioned it, but everyone was still watching. Through it all, one thing never changed: his discipline. The same boy who once trained alone in silence was now an older man, still training, still keeping going. He had learned to stand the test of time. Ronaldo crossed the milestone of 900 official career goals, a number few players could ever imagine. He has played for many clubs. He has broken many records. He has inspired many people. He has built a legacy. The boy from Madeira did not become Cristiano Ronaldo in one day. The cost was not one thing. It was many things. Goodbyes, loneliness, criticism, grief, pressure, and work, repeated day after day, year after year. That is the cost of becoming great.